we have I'm talking about a few things. If you want to go to the Jack Black portion of this video, just, you know what to do. Just scroll just about here. You'll see it. You'll hear it. I'll give some pointers about that. But Gotham was pretty good last night. Yes, you know what you saw the last few seconds of the previews. So, unlike Smallville, I don't think everybody has enough patience to wait another 10 years to see Bruce Wayne become Batman. So, and I think Warner Brothers didn't want this to be like Birds of Prey. They didn't want this to last about a whole season and say, well, fuck this was a failed project. This is a Batman prequel, so they want this to be successful in some way. Then after 5 years, they could say, well, you know, it had a good run. But I wanted to bring this out because it is the 20th anniversary of No Man's Land, which is a very popular. Let me take this out of the plastic. The lenticular cover is kind of damaged. I mean, it just needs cleaning. You can kind of see it. You can kind of see it. This is the one shot special that started, you know, about a year and a half worth of comics about. I think it had to do with the Quake Master and Ra's al Ghul and Contagion. And, you know, this is an old continuity that fits into new continuity since basically everything after New 52, some things got retconned after Flashpoint. You know, it's hard to keep up with these comic books anymore. But 20 years ago, when continuity was fairly simple to grasp, this was like 5 years after Zero Hour. This was 6 years before the Infinite Crisis, and a couple of years before, maybe 5 or 6 years before. Well, I think it was Identity Crisis. Then there was all Villains United and all this stuff. But this was one of the stories. So Gotham debuted last night, and it dealt with it pretty much dealt with like the themes of No Man's Land. So you have different groups of Gotham. One group fighting for another, for territory, for food, for clothes, for cars, for parts, for machines, for heat, for ice, for a lot of things. So the government can't help them or won't help them, so they're on their own. In this continuity, though, in the comic book version, um, headed by the great Denny O'Neil as the editor, in this one, basically, Bruce Wayne has gone to Washington, D.C. to plead for help. And for other reasons, he just can't, he's not around. So this is a Gotham City without Batman, essentially. So everybody's fending for themselves. It's pretty much the same as in the TV show. We have Sergio Aragones. I would like to see Gru the Destroyer. Was it Gru the Destroyer? I think his name is Gru, or Gru the Wanderer. I think his name is Gru the Wanderer. I want to see a Sergio Aragones movie based on his art. I mean, come on now, we got to have that. Give Sergio some justice. So, yeah, it's dealing with all these different themes of different groups. You have Batman's group. You have the Gotham City Police Department's group. You have, see, they're trading apples and things like this. This is, dealing with very little. This is how it was in the comic books. I remember reading this, and then introduced the new Batgirl, Cassandra Cain. Not the Batwoman that you see in the Arrowverse, but back then, 20 years ago, this is exactly 20 years ago. As you can see the date here, it's hard to see that, but it says March 99, which for most of you who don't read the comic books, it's always 2 months ahead. So this was January 1999 that I got this. So they're trading apples for cookies, for clothes, for food, for power, stuff like that. So you have basically Gotham City is not a United States city anymore. Now it's its own country, its own sovereignty, its own thing. But you'll have Gotham City police in one section, the Penguins territory in another section, the Riddlers in another section, The Huntress has one territory, so everybody takes control of territories, and that's what the season 5 of Gotham's about. And then you got Harvey Bullock, and then you got all these different themes. A lot of stuff happened in this, okay? This was like one of the last few stories that you saw a really good, strong Bat family. You had Batman, you had the Tim Drake Robin, you had Nightwing, you had, sometimes you had Catwoman, sometimes you didn't. You had Azrael, um, you had, let's see, you had Oracle, who was, Barbara Gordon, who couldn't walk at the time. She was still, crippled, and she still had the computers. Oh yeah, I think Scarface has his own territory as well. We'll go over that in a minute because I have the map in here. Yeah, this is the big splash cover to show you how Gotham City was just devastated. Just like, 20 years later, here we are in 2019, and this is just like the comic books. They just kind of adapted it. A lot of stuff in here. Video games, N64 stuff. So yeah, they show you the different, there's Poison Ivy has her territory. Scarface and the Ventriloquist has his territory. Black Mask has his territory. Killer Croc. Oh, so he doesn't give a shit. So Killer Croc will go where he wants. Two-Face definitely has his own, but there's no Two-Face yet in Gotham. There's only Harvey Dent. I don't think he's going to show up. They might surprise us, but I don't think Two-Face is showing up in Gotham. Just Harvey Dent. Street demons. There's all kinds of street gangs taking over territories, just like in, what was it, the Low Boys? The Low Boys got massacred by the Penguin's people. Kind of a quasi-racist, demonizing of races and gangs and weird shit. You would think the Low Boys would have their own guns in that episode. I don't want to spoil really anything for those of you who are going to watch, the season premiere of Gotham on Hulu, But the Joker, just like Jerome Valeska, is not, where is he at? So the Penguin is really, really shrewd on taking a bite of the apples and giving little back in return. Food for cans, food for supplies, maybe a skateboard for your leg. I mean, some people will give their leg just to eat another day. That's how sad it is. But that's how devastating it is. And I think that's a good way to end the show, really, to really have something. So that, because I will say the beginning of the episode takes place about 13 months after the end of season 4, so that you would think someone is going to stop the wars between factions and groups in Gotham City, and that someone has to have pointed ears. So yeah, there's high tech and low tech. If people have skills that they can sew clothing, if you have a mechanic, if you have an engineer, if you have a mathematician, somebody who, trading people, trading supplies. This was the hard part. Wayne fails to convince feds to aid Gotham. That's where Batman's been. And Commissioner Gordon was angry, that Batman wasn't here to help. Superman sometimes comes in and helps out. But Superman has his own issues too. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks. I mean, this is one of my favorite Batman stories, because even though Batman himself doesn't show up, except on the cover of this book, all of Gotham's themes are in here. The corruption, the crime. This is one of the GCPD. It's always a funny thing. I forgot who this guy is, but a lot of characters. This is an independent police officer who has his own territory. Kind of a dirty cop. Let's see what else we got. Teen Titans. We got these guys. And we have Harvey Bullock again. Harvey Bullock's a tough guy, even in this one. And what else we got? Yeah, this is important. Somebody was trying to set up the bat signal, and Commissioner Gordon's like, fuck this. This is not going to work out. Batman's not coming back. He's gone. He's abandoned us in our time of need. Uh, I could have sworn. Let me double check one more time to make sure I have the map or not, because I thought I did. And it basically shows you. This is the preview of Batgirl, the Cassandra Cain Batgirl. Basically, that we have here. See if I can find it or not. I might not be able to find it, but it basically shows you everything that's in here. Here it is. So you can see this is the map of Gotham. These are different colors, different things. So you have Black Mask, you have GCPD, you have Faith Sector. I don't know who Faith was. Huntress, Killer Croc, Low Boys. There it is. That's from the episode. That's where they goes. Lynx and Triads, Mad Hatter, MASH Sector. You know, like the TV show MASH, for medical. Mr. Freeze, Mr. Zaz, Penguin, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, Scarface, Street Demons, and Two-Face. And somewhere in here is the Joker's territory, but the Joker basically goes where he feels like going. So each color matches the colors on the map. So this was not a bad book. I kept it. This was made for this was a thing to celebrate Batman's 60th birthday. He turns 80 in a few months. So it's really a nice, if you can find it on eBay or Amazon or wherever, or your comic book store, please pick that up. So the episode of Gotham was pretty good. I think if any character did not have a great high point, it was Selina Kyle. You know, she doesn't value her life very well, as you'll see for those of you who are going to watch Gotham on Hulu tonight, or if you DVR'd it, you'll see why she's not at her high point. And of course, one character dies. You'll figure out who that is. Don't worry, I don't think it's somebody you'll miss, but maybe you will. But it's all about the iconic characters more than the other characters. So you'll see who that is. So let me talk so you can see my face again. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. All right. So talk a little bit about Jack Black. So what can I say? I saw 3 videos. The first one, you know, it's like this, hey, everybody. And then he has another one where he's like tilting the phone this way. And then the last one was about pinball. So I saw the house with the pin in its balls. I liked it. I didn't like it. I have an old book on pinball. Now, Jack Black is not going to look at my channel, okay? And I do like some of his movies. School of Rock. Where's that? House of Rock. I think it's School of Rock. And even King Kong were pretty good. The only thing I can say to you, Jack Black, is you've got to talk to your fans and not at your fans. It seems like you're doing a character. You know what I mean? You're playing a character like, hey, it's me, I'm wacky and weird. But that was like back in the 90s and 2000s. And that was kind of cool and fun. But you're talking to a YouTube crowd now. And the expectations are going to be very different. This is not Hollywood. This is not a Hollywood TV show. This is not Jimmy Fallon or The Daily Show or The Tonight Show. You're on YouTube, okay? And don't try to be YouTube Rewind. Don't try to be too out there, but talk to your fans. You know, address your fans. You know, like you talk to your family, like you talk to your personal friends. You know, just talk to your fans. Then you can do your weird characters. I mean, like with Boogie 2988, he does have the Francis character, but then he has himself. And at some point, you just got to let the guard down a bit and talk to your fans. Tell them how you feel. Tell them what you like. Tell them what you don't like. Show them different things, you know? And don't just rely on your fame. Put yourself out there. Because, yeah, you got 8 million views for your first one, 7 million views for your second video. But at some point, people are going to say, oh, this guy's just using his fame to get views. And the views start going down and down. You got to get people interested. You got to keep people interested. So one of the things you should do is just be you. Just be yourself. Don't try to be a character you played in a movie. Be Jack Black. And if part of that is being funny, Yeah, be funny, but also talk to your fans. Because like I said, YouTube has different demographics. It's not the TV show demographics. It's not the Netflix. It's not the cable. It's people who just want people to be real, away from the Warner Brothers, Disney, Universal, uh, uh, Paramount Pictures, corporate, breathing down your neck. Say what we want you to say. Do what we want you to do. No, no, no. Just be you. That's it. Um, as far as stunt double takes goes, I'm going to go over a new format where I'm going to show you a trailer. And I'm going to turn down the volume for copyright. And I'll just give you commentary about what kind of stunts you'll see. I'll go over some major names of stunt people and then my final thoughts about it. So I'm going to basically do what I did before, but in a much faster way to try to get more views without disrespecting all the hard work I did last year. So I'm off to Little Tokyo. Peace out. And you can look at my orange tree just for fun. Look at that tree. It's never going to grow any more oranges, is it? No more oranges. But at least it's a nice shade of yellow.